Welcome to the Secrets of College Planning. I'm your host, Anthony Uva, and today we're going to get some insight into athletics at the college level. My guest today is Shawn Tucker. He is the Associate Vice President and Director of Athletics for New Jersey City University. And welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, so this is the second time on the show. So just to give a recap of the last time, Rutgers grad.
Correct.
And master's at Rutgers as well?
Correct, yep.
Okay, and then, so give us a sense of what the path was from Rutgers to how did you get to become the Associate Vice President and Director of Athletics at New Jersey City University?
Well, my roots began at Rutgers playing football. So I left Florida in 2002, played football at the institution up until 2007. Got my undergraduate there and also my master's degree. And while I was there, I was able to be the Associate Athletic Director for our Student Athlete Development Program. So I ran a program called the Rutgers Leadership Academy, helping our 600-plus student athletes with career development, leadership training, personal enrichment, and also community engagement. Absolutely loved my time there. I learned a lot, had some great leaders to pave the way before me. I was able to take different things from them. And then ultimately it came to a place where I knew deep down inside that I was ready for another challenge. I was at the institution for almost 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just working there as a student and now as a administrator, that I was looking for something to change. And an opportunity presented itself to take this position here at New Jersey City University to be the guy in the chair that's making the decisions. And it's been a wonderful experience these past almost 25 months on the job.
Wow, fantastic. So New Jersey City University, give us the atmosphere, give us what the school is like, and then we'll get into what you're actually doing there. Yeah,
before I even talk about New Jersey City University, I have to talk about Jersey City itself. It is, according to Forbes, the most diverse city in the nation.
Wow.
We got the ranking back again after being in second place last year. And I think that's what initially attracted me to Jersey City. I wanted to be a part of a culture that was more of a melting pot. Our primary cohort that we typically have apply to the school are first generation students. And so we have roughly around 8,500 students that are enrolled at the institution. Of that, 200 plus are student athletes. And so being able to provide a first-class experience to students that predominantly would have never had an experience collegiately, or even secondly, having a high-level experience. So these past 24 months has been about changing and shifting the culture and providing appropriate resources so that they can be successful both during and also post collegiate.
So now, how big is the school?
Yeah, so the school is 8,500 in terms of student population.
Okay.
So roughly it's a small school. It's a Division III school. So going from Division I, Rutgers University, where you had 40, 50, 60,000 students, to a smaller population of 8,500, it is a shift.
Yeah.
But it's allowed myself as well as our staff to really be intentional about the hands-on approach that we have with our students.
I gotcha. Yeah. So now, as the Associate Vice President and Director of Athletics, what exactly are you doing?
So it's twofold. So primarily my role at Rutgers was to really be hands-on with our student athletes and working with programming, doing career enrichment sessions and workshops here and there. Now that I'm in this position, it's really overseeing an entire sports department. So we started with 12 sports. We've rapidly grown to 21 sports in such a short time, one of the fastest growing Division III institutions in the country.
Wow.
So taking on that task has required me to really be kind of hands into the details of starting programs. We have an emerging program, our women's and men's wrestling program. Our women's wrestling is our first ever New Jersey state-based collegiate wrestling program on Division I, II, and III. So a lot of things coming off the ground for running in that area has required me to do more of the administrative roles, making sure that our teams are in alignment in terms of the NCAA requirements, as well as fundraising. You know, as an AD, you're required to build the resources, generate interest, and we've been able to gain some interest with our donor population. And now we're starting to touch into some of the companies and corporations.
Wow. So and the corporations that you look at are the ones in Jersey City?
Yeah, you're looking locally now here in Jersey City, but we do have potential to kind of brand ourselves outside. We've been able to identify a few third-party providers to help us assist that in our direction. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. So now, you said you grew in the amount of sports.
Yes.
Give us some of the sports you've added. Yeah. Compared to the ones that were there when you originally got there?
Yeah, so we added men's and women's track and field, and that was a program that was there for, I think, roughly around 30 years, and it was discontinued in the early 2000s for whatever reason. But it was something that we really wanted to bring back. We had some great alum that were successful, some NCAA qualifiers back in the day, that we knew that if we brought back track and field, it would be one of our pillar programs, and we've already seen this great success that our head coach Patrick O'Neill has done in just 2 short years. We actually came in together, and to see the team, the roster size triple within 2 years has been phenomenal. We've had some ECAC winners in first place, second place, third place winners, and it's been great to see the success of that program. As I shared with you earlier, men's and women's wrestling. We were able to hire Elena, who is a former Olympian, and 2-time actually Olympian qualifier, and then Harry from Rutgers University, Harry Turner, he was the director of recruiting under Scott Goodell, and so he's seen national qualifiers, national champions. So being able to hire 2 phenomenal leaders in those roles have been great for us. We are looking to hire a men's and women's tennis coach, hopefully very soon. We'll have a great person in the role leading that team and leading that charge.
So now, who are some of the schools that the university plays against in your division?
So we compete in the New Jersey Athletic Conference called the NJAC. So Ramapo, Rowan University, Rutgers Newark, and Rutgers Camden. So still competing against the Rutgers schools there, just at that level. TCNJ, so not too far from this area around here. Also Montclair State and William Patterson.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so all local.
All local schools. What's great about our conference is one of the few across all D3 that are all public schools, public institutions, as well as all in the state of New Jersey. Yeah.
So now, how do you attract some of the coaches to come to New Jersey City University?
So one of my mantras has been about creating a Division I environment in a Division III model. And what I mean by that is really empowering and providing resources so that our coaches are successful. So we are competitively on the higher end when it comes to salaries and providing the resources for the sport programs. We've created this sport admin model where I have staff that's underneath me that are serving as the lead director in that sport program. So I'm empowering my team to take more of a role, of a leadership role in that. That's allowing them to grow as well. So creating that model, creating that team effort has allowed us to really spearhead this, what I call heart-centered leadership. It's when you are really focusing on the actual heart of a person and hoping that by providing a platform and an environment where they can be successful, you're going to get the best out of them as well.
Wow, fantastic. So now, the sports that you have there, the student athletes, you said that there's about 200 that out of the 8,500 that are there. Are you getting more interest from the student body to come and play at the school?
Absolutely. When we launched these additional sport programs, our first group was to reach on campus. So for example, Harry did a info session on men's wrestling, and he was able to get probably around 20 individuals to come out for that meeting that were already students at NJCU that may have competed in high school, but since we didn't have a program, they just continued their education. And so those are the things that we've been able to do and just garner and generate more interest.
Wow, fantastic. Now, is eventually you're going to have more of the student body participating in sports?
I would foresee us as we move forward, we'll probably add more club programs and intramurals and having more of an outlet for those that want to do it on a club and more of a volunteer type of basis, as opposed to now our coaches are going out of state to recruit some higher level students that are really interested in continuing their professional and collegiate career.
Do you do the development of the clubs as well at the school?
Currently, right now, we have two club programs. One is our new emerging esports. Yes,
yeah.
we have entered. Yeah, we've entered into that space, so we're excited about that. We're actually going to have our first team called our Overwatch team coming after our spring break. So we're excited about that initiative, and then we have a club cheer program.
Wow, fantastic. That esports is big these days.
It is. It's absolutely. We don't know what the NCAA is going to decide upon. If that's something that they're going to enter in, what I'm foreseeing, they're not, and it's going to be something that will be an opportunity for us to potentially provide scholarships. Because at the Division III model, as opposed to Division I and Division II, it's a non-scholarship model.
Right.
So every student that is there, their only scholarship aid would come from any academic scholarship that they would receive.
Yeah. So now, student athletes coming to the school, what can they expect when they come there?
First class experience. You're going to get coaches, you're going to get administrators that really care about them as a person. The Division III model in itself, it's about the total student athlete.
Yeah.
Coming from an environment where, we have a lot of athletes that are coming from high school, they really believe that they're going to make it professionally. And they train like that, and they focus like that. And sometimes it's hard to kind of navigate the ship back to, you need to focus on your career, you need to focus on personal development. We have the beauty of Division III is they already know that this is it for them. This is probably the last stop for them athletically. So now we get a chance to really be intentional about the life skills. And so Danielle Beam, who's our Associate Athletic Director, she has launched a program called the Rising Knight Institute. And it's geared to empowering our student athletes in those 5 key pillars: the professional development, the personal enrichment, the community engagement, the leadership training, really making sure that they're doing that successfully, and then the academic enrichment.
Yeah, and I noticed the 5 pillars were the 5 pillars when you worked at
Yes,
Rutgers.
very similar to that. And I was actually having a conversation with a prospective recruit, and as I was sharing with the family members, one of the things that's unique with our institution is you have an AD that comes from a student athlete development background. So I'm all about this one-on-one engagement. And I was telling her, I miss sitting down with you and just talking to students and sharing my story and letting them know how much we truly care about it. But now we have a model. We have a Danielle Beam who's running point in that, who has the same type of drive and heart that I had when I was at Rutgers.
So now, for yourself, do you go into the campus and go talk to the student body and see what their take is about everything?
Yeah.
What kind of
involvement? So now
getting?
that I have that other title to me, Associate Vice President, I'm pulled into more of the academia focus of the world, it's student life. I'm really driven into that space as well to make sure that we are being leaders on campus and have a pulse of what's going on campus. How do we engage, involve? When I first got on board, we did this networking event, and we got various units from the provost's office to student life to facilities, and we all got together and we just network. And so my direct report, who actually came from Rutgers as well, we facilitated this event that we launched 10 plus years ago at Rutgers called the Night of Networking. We did something similar for our entire administration, and it was a great hit.
And so what happens at that particular event?
So that event is about just getting issues solved. A lot of times when you don't meet face to face, when you don't talk about certain things and you're just going through emails, you kind of lose that personal touch on it. So the goal of it was to, let's break down the barriers, let's break down the walls, let's get to know each other so that when we have hard conversations, discussions that will present itself, we can move forward the agenda quickly.
Wow, fantastic. So when you're at the school and students are coming to the university, what can they expect on that first day? Do they get dorm rooms? Do they get what Division I athletes get, or is it on a smaller scale?
It's on a smaller scale, but there's little things that we've already begun to provide a first-class experience. For example, we have new branding marks, new trademarks that we have with our logos, and we wrapped our bus with that. So we have a transportation deal with a local company, and instead of just having their local bus and their logo on there, we say, you know what, we're going to put the extra dollars into it, and we're going to wrap it, and we're going to brand it. So there's a point of pride.
Yeah.
And so when you come to NJC, you'll start to see there's more branding, there's signage going around with athletes there, and where our word marks. When you come into our JMAC Center, you'll see that in our lobby. It's an open lobby. And so that's our goal, is to start one by one, begin to knock down the walls of being disconnected from that experience that was traditionally there before.
So now, as athletic director, I've had a few athletic directors that have come on. The biggest thing about Division I compared to Division III is they always say, oh, Division I is all about the sport, it's not about academics. Where Division III explains how it's about graduating and about working with the student athlete. Give us your take on, because you've been at a Division I school and now a Division III school, give us your take on what the student athlete should be expecting about academics as well as athletics.
Yeah, I think one of the things is that you have to identify at your institution who you want to be. What's your role? What's your why? Once you're able to do that, you're able to put down a framework, a strategy in place to ensure that whether you have a student athlete that can play professionally, move on, you still should have a system and support structure in place that they're continually on their journey, they're going to grow. And at NJCU, we've been able to utilize a model that worked well at Rutgers, and now it's even on a larger scale because we have more time, more intentionality. Division III has less stringent rules, there's less competition seasons, there's less practice time, so you have more time to really provide a developmental program so that those students can be successful once they graduate. But I truly believe at the heart of the matter, regardless if you're an AD at D1 and AD at D3, you got to begin to put a system in place that's going to be successful for your institution.
So now, coaches with the students, you probably have a lot of meetings with your coaches. How do they find these students? Are they combing the globe? Are they just going around to just New Jersey? Do they go all over the place? How does it work at a Division III school?
To be honest with you, it's about hiring the right head coach. And once you hire the right head coach, they're the ones that are driven. They're the ones that are knowledgeable about their program. And so, for example, we have a great, phenomenal women's basketball coach. 2 years into the position, has already had one of the most successful 2-year stints in program history.
Wow.
Yeah, we actually had our team make it to our conference playoffs for the first time in 31 years.
Wow.
So that's the shifting that's taking place. So the narrative is now out there in the state that NJCU is on the rise. So now you capitalize on that. You're intentional in how you go out to the high schools, how you engage with the ADs. I've had a chance to sit down with some high school ADs in the Hudson County area, so they're familiar with my face, what we're all about. That knocks down any preconceived notions of what NJC was all about prior to me getting there. Now that we have that in the mold, our head coaches are now equipped to now go out and recruit. And whether it's Elena going out to Texas because of her national name, she's able to get individuals. Whether it's our golf coach who's down in South Carolina right now competing in a tournament and our bus is with them, that's a branding opportunity where maybe someone never would have heard about New Jersey City University. Another emphasis that we've been able to equip our head coaches with is that we have embraced Jersey City. NJCU, our word marks, you'll see the J and the C is pronounced in it. And one of the things we want to take advantage of is Jersey City is one of the fastest growing metropolitan cities here in the state of New Jersey. Potentially in the next 10 years, we'll probably be the largest city, eclipsing Newark.
Right.
So when we look at that, that's a great selling point for someone that lives in Ohio that was looking to get an East Coast experience. So we're really trying to equip our coaches with the tools so that they can be successful in their recruiting.
So now, do you find a lot of the student athletes, are they commuters of the school, or are they actually living at the campus?
So we're 40% on campus. So the rest of 60% of our student athlete population commutes.
Okay.
I foresee that kind of being the balance for us. NJCU as a whole traditionally has been a commuter school. We haven't had the housing options, but we have launched a new West Side Village that will come into effect in the next couple of years that's going to allow for more of an on-campus student life experience that many of our students who are on campus now are looking for.
Wow.
It's called University Place, and it's going to have a music, dance, and theater connected to it. We'll have a shop right there. There's a couple other mixed-use residential units that are growing around in the area. Our new softball facility will be there adjacent to it as well. So we're building a small village, so to speak, that's going to allow our students to have a more impactful student experience.
So now, does that when you create something like that, does that move the division to like a Division II type school?
No, so it's not expanding in that territory. We could potentially do that if we wanted to, but really, we've had these conversations internally. We really believe in the Division III model. We love where we're at right now in our conference, New Jersey Athletic Conference. We believe it's one of the premier conferences in Division III. Wow. And we believe that we have an opportunity to now move in that direction to be one of those stronger institutions. We're not there yet. By no means we're not there yet. And we have a lot of work to do across the board. And so instead of thinking about the D2 or the D1 route, which infrastructurally we're not there, that we really want to be leaders in the Division III space.
So now the big thing for a lot of people is academics and tuition. At a Division III school, there aren't any scholarships. So what type of things can students look at? Is there any type of merit money or academics or anything like that they can look at?
Of all the NJAC schools that we compete against, every year we're 1 or 2 in terms of providing the most affordable option for students. With us attracting predominantly first-generation students or those that come from more of a lower socioeconomic means, we want to make sure that we don't lose that. So that's our why as an institution. We embrace that. Not many institutions do that. Their formula is a little bit different and unique. Ours is tailored to providing that great experience. There's challenges that come with it because sometimes a student, due to life demands, they now have to work full-time to help support the family, even though they want to finish their schooling. So our retention rate will go up and down year over year. But what we believe is if we can provide an experience that attracts them to not just start but finish is a big part of our why.
Wow, that's fantastic. So you said 60% are commuters.
Yes.
Does that affect anything that goes on at the school by having a lot of that?
As long as all of our rooms are filled, at the end of the day, we only can provide what we can provide until all the buildings are built and every other area is developed and more students will feel like I can live on campus. So we're moving in that right direction there, and I believe in the next 5 years, you'll see that number begin to tick down, where instead of being 60 commuting, maybe closer to 50%.
So now, are the major sports at the school baseball, football, basketball?
Yeah, so we have all the major sports that you typically see except football. So we have men's, women's basketball, I would say are our pillars programs with the tradition. Mark Brown is our head coach for our men's basketball program. His father, Charlie Brown, coached there. So we have over 50 years of Brown family tradition in our basketball program, which has allowed us to have a really successful alumni base. For that, and we've had our most success in our men's basketball program. Baseball, softball, they're actually away right now on spring break trip. Our baseball team's in Texas, and softball is away in South Carolina. And then with our track programs coming online, we also have women's bowling. We have our tennis program, men's, women's golf, and I believe and wrestling is our last program, along with our volleyball programs.
So now, how about promoting of the school? What are some of the things that you do to promote the university?
So if you drive up the turnpike and you get off exit 15, you'll see billboard after billboard. If you go across Route 1 and 9, you'll see even more billboards. And that's a big push that we've had, is to now brand NJCU in the local northern central Jersey. We have our bus that goes as south as Washington, D.C., and as north up into the city when we're not utilizing the bus. And it's branded NJCU. Wow. And we've just launched a new, revamped our Gothic vision. So every home competition is live streamed. And so it gives extra eyeballs for our alums. Parents absolutely love it, so they're engaged. So we believe that our best ambassadors are not just our billboard, but also those that are competing and family members that are wearing our new brand. And so as we believe, as we're part of our model is, to grow from not just from 200 plus student athletes to eventually get to 600 while adding additional sport programs down the.
Now, how about high schools? You said that you went to a lot of the area high schools. Do you go to all the high schools in the state of New Jersey, or you pretty much focus on the New Jersey area, or is there some from New York that you go to?
Yeah, so each program is unique to itself. So we have a great pipeline in the Ocean County with our baseball program because of our head coach who has great ties with those schools. And then another program will do great in South Jersey. So it just depends on what program that we're at. Predominantly, we'll see the Hudson, Essex County area, Bergen County, where we have a stronger pipeline with, just based on the proximity. For those that are in high school that want to stay closer to home, we are a great option for them. It's an affordable option. And now that we're not just only providing an affordable option, we're providing a very competitive affordable option to compete at a Division III institution and really see the emphasis of support in place.
Do you get a lot of New York kids that come over?
We don't right now, but we foresee that shifting, especially in our wrestling program, because women's wrestling and men's wrestling is huge in the state of New Jersey. You don't have to look far from Rider University, Princeton, phenomenal wrestling program, Rutgers.
Yeah.
And so we believe that now that we're offering wrestling on both men's and women's across the water, that we're going to start to attract some of those students as well.
Great.
Yeah.
So we're coming to the end of the show.
Yes.
And usually I ask my guests, and you know that you've been on before.
Yep.
What advice do you want to give to the students that are thinking about going to your university and the parents?
Yep.
What advice do you want to give them?
Shared on it a little bit before, just about the affordability. At NJCU, you're going to get a great education. Our School of Business is right off the water. It oversees the New York City skyline. It's a phenomenal view, and it's a great institution where you're going to be able to grow in that area as well. My advice is to maximize your opportunity while you have it. You have such a short window in the academic space. If you are competing athletically, you have a small window as well. Imagine merging both of them together. No greater experience than at NJCU.
Great. Well, thank you very much for coming back on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So you've been watching The Secrets of College Planning. I'm your host, Anthony Uva. Until next time.